Hey guys, Joebizz34 here. I wanted to try something new. I know you guys know me for collecting 1/6 scale figures or other type of collectibles, toys, whatever. And I do customized stuff that I show, and I also review other people's work or commercially released or other customizers. But I do enjoy the reviewing aspect of things, and I wanted to share another passion of mine and start doing maybe expanding on my reviews of different things, like movies, for example, or copies of movies on Blu-ray, DVD, whatever. And I wanted to show this one real quick. I wanted to because I was so impressed with this that I said, you know what? I'm going to do my first review of a Blu-ray disc and kind of branch out. And I've seen others do it too that collect figures. And let's face it, I collect figures mainly because I'm into the movies that I'm collecting the figures from. So movies technically is my first passion, and that is what caused me to start collecting the stuff that reflects characters that I like from movies. So why not do reviews of this stuff too? So I recently picked this up. Now, this is a double dip for me, and it's worth every penny, and I'll tell you why. Number one, this is the Terminator, the original, okay, Schwarzenegger. And the first interesting thing I want to point out is the cover, the artwork, which is awesome. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. It's not fancy. It doesn't have a steel book. It doesn't have an outer sleeve or anything like that. No gimmicks. It's just a reissue, but it's a remastered version of the movie. And I got to tell you, it is the first Blu-ray disc that really does the movie justice and really feels like a Blu-ray when you're watching it. And I was so impressed that I was compelled to make this my first, movie review, or I should say Blu-ray review in that category. Um, I have an older copy of it, and I have this. Now, this is cool because it's got, see, look at that, the 3D cover. And this is good. And if you this is just a reissue of the first Blu-ray release they did. I'm going to take the outer sleeve off. And again, I'm going to try to do it with one hand, which is always an issue. Makes everything harder. Okay. So if you take the outer sleeve off, as you can see, it's nothing more than the same looking cover. I don't know if they even had another one of this, but this is like the first Blu-ray release, and this is like a reissue of the original reissue where they didn't really do much. It just felt like a ported over DVD copy that maybe they slightly enhanced, or like almost the way a DVD looks like upconverted. Like where it's still not Blu-ray quality, but it's improved. And even back with the and that's the outer sleeve, the 3D, which, like I said, very cool. And at the time, I thought, okay, you know what? It's an old movie. Maybe it can't get any better. Until I got this. This one does have a 5.1 soundtrack. And the one thing I noticed with this version and even this newer one is that when you watch the movie in 5.1, there are subtle differences in, compared to the original mono soundtrack. Back in '84, this was released with a mono soundtrack, and then I think later it became stereo, and then they kept improving it to bring it up to today's standards. So they went mono, Dolby Stereo 2.0, then they went to 5.1. But this, man, oh my God, this one blows your speakers out. I mean, this one really feels like the movie was just made last month. I mean, obviously it still looks '80s because that's when it was filmed, but the quality of the picture has been improved so much, and the music, the quality, the sound effects, and the music, and the soundtrack, and everything is so crisp and clear that, like I said, this is probably the best copy of Terminator I've ever witnessed. It's better because, I mean, when I first watched Terminator, it was on VHS, man, back in the day. I was too young to see our movies when this was in the theaters. Just barely was old enough to see it once it came out on VHS, which is how I saw it. And man, I loved the movie, but I never really saw it. I've heard some people review this disc and say that this even looks better than when it was in the theaters. The sound is phenomenal. The picture is so clean and clear. It almost has like that, if you have that HD TV, if you have that motion enhancer feature on your televisions, which I do, which there's my TV right there. It really brings this out. It looks like somebody just took the whole film and ran it through a washer machine, man, just cleaned it off. And the colors are natural. They're not overdone. They're not too bright. There was a while there in the past where they thought by enhancing a movie was making everything brighter and You know, the green's really green, the blue's really blue, and you know, look how improved it is, look how clear it is. But it wasn't really. They were like basically over exaggerating the colors, and in the end, it kind of like hurt the film. Where in this copy, and what they're doing now is they're giving it more of a natural. They're actually toning it, dialing it down, and toning it back to more of a natural. Like, you know, don't make the green, make the grass clearer. Don't make it greener or unnaturally green. Make it look like a real colored grass, or the way it originally was, just clearer and perfected. Some people have talked about the color timing being a little off on this, which I don't know. I mean, I'm not a purist to that point. All I can tell you is that it's the clearest and the best I've ever seen it. And here's the best part: it's only $8. I got this for $7.99 off of Best Buy, and I think Amazon has it for the same thing. So they're not even charging an arm and a leg, so it's worth it. Number one, it's really worth it if you don't own it on Blu-ray yet. This is the copy to get. Don't get any other one at this point but this one. But it also is worth it to double dip because you're only paying another $8. So, I mean, like, I had it already, but I'm telling you, man, between these two, night and day. The sound is 5.1 on this, but doesn't sound nearly as clear or as crisp or as loud as this one. This one you got to turn the volume down, not up. And the picture on this is clear, but it's not true Blu-ray. You could still see the age and the oldness on the film. There's still that graininess there. And like I said, and I thought that was just the way it was filmed and it couldn't be avoided. I didn't think it was possible to make this movie look any better, and I just accepted it for what it was until I saw this. So, 5 stars, 5 out of 5 for this copy. Now, like I said, with this one and this one, there's a particular scene I want you guys to check out if you could, so you can compare what I'm talking about. I don't remember if it was the original Blu-ray or if it was the DVD, but there was some point where they gave you the choice to watch the soundtrack in either the old mono version or the 5.1. I think it was the DVD copy of Terminator I had. I don't think it was a Blu-ray, but I'd have to double check on this one. But if you have the option of hearing it the old way before and then listening to this, this is basically a happy medium of both worlds. This is the enhanced 5.1 soundtrack that you get the benefit of the 5.1, but it's perfected that you really capture a lot more of what the original soundtrack offered. But it does sacrifice a couple things. In particular, after he says his famous "I'll be back" scene, and he leaves, the policeman looks up from his desk as he's writing, and then he comes crashing in with the car. Well, there's a certain riff there. There's a certain musical riff there that occurs. It's a steady beat, and it's really menacing sounding. And you know by the when the music hits that something's about to happen, and then Schwarzenegger comes crashing in with his pickup truck. Well, unfortunately, in both these remixes, these 5.1 soundtracks, you lose that little riff. So you don't hear it because you're hearing the other sound effects more enhanced. So you're sacrificing some things to gain others. Okay, so if you have the opportunity to listen to both mono and that, use that scene. You'll hear exactly what I'm talking about. There is a musical riff missing before the pickup truck comes through that police station. That's the only thing I think that I really noticed that's lost. Everything else is pretty intact. But listening to this and then listening to this, I would definitely say that overall this protects the original soundtrack the best, but at the same time getting the benefit of what they changed to enhance it, if that makes any sense. So this is definitely the best of both worlds. So again, for the price and for what you get, picture and sound improvement, I recommend this 5 out of 5. And like I said, especially the price, $8, man, you can't go wrong. And for a price that attractive, it makes it worth it, regardless if it's a double dip or not. So I would say go for it either way, especially if you're a big Terminator fan. All right, guys, that's it for this time. I'll be reviewing some more stuff. If you guys like this vid, let me know. Comment below, and I'll do others. Okay? Because this really is the true passion for me. This is where it starts, which is what stems into my collecting. So it's only fair that I honor this aspect of my my love. Anyway, till next time, guys. Peace out.